Good morning. This is Wende Henley with the Bedford Area Chamber Vibes coming at you this morning, April 20th. And we are just here today excited to talk about Red Cross and two influential people, Michelle Dowdy and Ralph, who is with Disaster Cycle Services Program Manager. And so how awesome is Red Cross and how wonderful is this program for our area right now? It's phenomenal. We just had Danielle on to do one of our different informationals at an event that we had. She did a phenomenal job. But Michelle, Executive Director for the American Red Cross Blue Ridge Chapter, and she served in the role for more than 5 years, after working in various nonprofits in Tampa, Florida, of all places, and Washington, and locally in Lynchburg, Virginia. And her nonprofit experience has led her to admire the work of volunteers in the entire community. And she's inspired by how much community partners and members step up to help others in nonprofits. And so she also has a passion for people and helping all to work out their plan and their mission with the Red Cross. And so she also resides in Lynchburg with her family and 2 dogs. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. And also we've got Ralph. And Ralph, tell me your last name again.
Lawson, Lawson. Yeah.
Ralph Lawson. Okay. And you're Disaster Cycle Service Programs Manager. That's a lot to say. So I can't wait to hear more about all that you do. You've been involved with the Red Cross for over 20 years and 10 years as a board member, 10 years as a staff member. You're heavily involved in local work in the hometown of Martinsville, which you drove in today. Thank you. Yes. Thanks for coming in person. It sounds so much better when you're here in the studio. And so you find time to spend with your grandkids, and I'm sure they are precious, and you just have a wonderful life here. But what a just ministry and service that you have with Red Cross. So I just want to thank you both for what you do every single day, helping our lives to be better and helping these programs to serve us. And so, but let's just dive right in. First off, let's get to know you guys. So Michelle, we need some fun facts on you. Tell me, what is one fun fact or maybe what you like to do in your leisure time?
Well, I have a toddler, so my leisure time
is different.
Is far but few. I used to read a lot. I was a big book junkie. I read all the time. But now I actually really enjoy just going to the gym. She enjoys kids' time, and it's a 45-minute break. And besides, I hate actually saying that's my break. I love family time. I love being with my husband and child and just enjoying whatever we can do. We go out to eat a lot, so we're supporting local
You're
business.
Foodies. There you go. I like it. We can talk. We'll compare. What is our favorite? So, and then of course, Ralph, let's talk about you. Some fun facts about you. What do you like to do in your leisure time?
Spend time with my family. We try to schedule those date nights and that type of thing. My wife is currently the mayor of the city of Martinsville and in her 3rd term there, and was the first woman in the history of the city to serve as mayor. So I'm very proud of her.
Oh, shout out to her.
And so wonderful family. And so love spending time with my little princess. She's in her 30s now, so but she's still daddy's little princess. And so hanging with the grandkids too. So scheduling that family time. With this job here as disaster program manager, it literally is 24/7. Phone rings 24 hours a day. So it's always something. And having 14 jurisdictions, there's a lot of work. So when there is downtime, I do tend to enjoy that.
For sure. How many grandkids? Oh, Disney. There you go. Got to take the grandkids to Disney. So how many grandkids do you have?
It's a grand total of 8. But
wow.
My little princess has 2. So
nice. Fun family times for sure. Action-packed, never a dull moment. So you guys got involved with Red Cross. And of course, Red Cross is such a great organization. We were talking prior to starting this segment here and about Clara Barton and how influential she was and helping with this. And of course, finding out about the onset of how it all began. And it's hard to believe that it was 1881 this organization began. That's a long time ago. What a great history and legacy. And you guys are following in their footsteps. That's pretty phenomenal.
We're blessed to serve. Yes.
Well, and you kind of have to have a heart, and it makes all the difference where your passion is and there's where your heart is, and you just follow it, right? In those leadership roles, and you make a difference every day. So, well, let's talk about everything encompassing Red Cross. I know everybody knows, of course, about giving blood, and they can help in those areas. But let's talk about the overall mission. Michelle, I'll start with you, and what it all encompasses now, because it's grown into much more than just giving blood, right? Let's talk about that.
Right. So Clara started it on the battlefield when in 1881, as you said, and we still serve our service to armed forces members and their families. And so our mission for the Red Cross is to alleviate human suffering by the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. And through that, we use it in our service to armed forces. We have not left our mission that it began with. For the various acts, we send things overseas to our active troops in the military. We help when they're getting sent off. We will be represented there and give them information. We are their communication piece. We are the only communication. So we work with the commanding officer and the families here that need to get in contact with their soldier. We also do some messaging, and with that comes international services, and we help, folks trace back their families if they fled a country or have been a refugee elsewhere, somewhere. We work in international Red Crosses to help reconnect folks. And so that is a tiny, tiny piece of what we do in that, but it expands even more and can go down a rabbit hole of much more. But that's the main drive of our service armed forces and international services. And on top of that, we also have our blood services, which you said. And so we donate blood where we have folks donate, and then we also supply nearly half of the nation's blood supply. And so we have a large mission before us, and we have been able to continue doing that. We've done all this through COVID. Obviously, blood drives have not been virtual, but most everything else had shifted to virtual and is reopening. We're excited the VAs are reopened. We can go back there again. But our blood drives had continued. So shout out to any partner out there, anyone who gave blood. I know during that time it was scary and a lot of people were nervous, but yet we saw so many come out and we were able to still supply blood that was needed because people still needed it no matter what. And so we are thankful for that program that has survived and continued to thrive. And then in addition to all of that is our disaster cycle services, or disaster in general. And Ralph is our guru on those things, but it encompasses preparedness options. It encompasses when you have a home fire, a personal disaster, when there's large disasters like you see on TV, the hurricanes, tornadoes, storms, some that have been locally impacted here, large disasters, some that we've sent volunteers to that are in other areas of the country. And then we also do some other programs through that as well. So we've got a large mission, but it all boils down to alleviate human suffering by the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. So without our volunteers, we have a very small staff, so we would be able to do nothing. So they are our everything. They are what makes the mission keep happening. And then of course our donors, we are not funded by the government, although mandated by the government to do these things. So it is the generosity of donors and foundations and grants and the individual donors and businesses in the area. So all that to say, it's a community effort to make sure we keep doing things like we are. And we've been able to last, like you said, since 1881. And so we're thankful for that. And it's an incredible mission.
And so needed. And when you think about the communication that goes into even just the armed forces and how you guys are that arm there, it's incredible. I can't even imagine. But I know my son is in the military, and I remember getting those notices about that's the communication. So it's amazing to see that you're serving in that capacity, not only giving blood and supplying the blood for everyone, but yet, and also let's go into a whole another phase that you guys provide. So house fires. Let's talk about this, and let's look to Ralph. What happens when there's a home fire, and what do you guys offer with the Red Cross with this program?
Basically, with the Red Cross, we are asked to come in. That's usually by the fire department, who will talk to the family who's on scene and say, hey, do you like for us to call the Red Cross? Do you have a place to stay? You need some assistance? And with that, we are asked to come in. They will alert their 911 dispatch. They contact our folks, and we verify the call is there, the damage, how many folks are involved. And then our volunteers show up on scene and are able to comfort people going through their darkest hour. We always don't want anyone to ever have a house fire, but hopefully in your lifetime, you only have the one. And so we have that opportunity to be there that night, especially on cold nights with a blanket and socks. And we provide comfort kits, the toothpaste and all that kind of stuff that you don't get a chance to run back into the house and get, even if you're going to stay with family. But if you're going to a hotel or wherever you may be going. And so we're able to help folks in that darkest moment there. We show up, we ask a few questions, and based on damage, we give a credit card that has some funds on it that's going to take care of their immediate needs for the next few days. Usually it's hotel and lodging and food for those next few days. A caseworker is assigned to every family. And so starting that next day, a caseworker is reaching out, talking about their recovery. If they've lost medications, those standard medications during the evening, we have licensed nurses who are volunteers, and they're working on replacing medications and CPAP machines and walkers and this type of medical equipment. And then we have mental health as well. Sadly, we still have way too many fire deaths that happen. We just had one a couple of weeks ago in Patrick County, and so we serve 14 jurisdictions here. Of course, Bedford is one of those in the Blue Ridge Territory. And so very sad when those things happen, and we have on staff licensed mental health folks who are able to talk with family members and that type of thing. And we're able to provide some assistance if it's needed, if that's a recovery roadblock. One of the sadder cases we had in Martinsville back in January, the mother got out, but her disabled son did not. And so her big recovery block was the funeral assistance help. And so we were able to help a little bit with that. So it just depends on what your recovery roadblocks are. But we show up that night with the comfort kits and those items. We have kids' bags that are specially made. We have a partnership with Project Night Night out of California who send us for free the basic bag, which has a child's toy and a blanket and a book in it. We add to that donated color books and crayons and different things that we're given in the community. Then we also came up, partnered with the Forest Rotary Club, who sponsored our first student backpacks. And so we have backpacks that are stuffed with school supplies, and we're able to give that to families as well. We have pet kits, doggy bags, and cat bags, and so we're always looking for those donations of small bags of dog food and cat food to small bags of litter that go with that. So we've had more folks break up, cry over the pet kits than even getting a toothbrush or so themselves. And so, but every year somebody donates a case of socks, and so we're able to add different things to that being there that night. So we're able to really support them in that dark hour. So.
Well, it's incredible and such a need. And so if someone was to have a house fire, do they just reach out to the local Red Cross?
They can. Generally, what happens when they're on the scene there, the fire department is alerting us to let us know then. And so most cases we help right then and there. But no, they do have, for the next week, they can still reach out to us. Let's say you were thinking that night or not thinking clearly and said, no, don't call the Red Cross. I got somewhere to go. And that somewhere to go didn't last but a day or so. Then you reach out to the Red Cross as a client, and we get back with the fire department and verify the damage and that type of thing. And then we're able to assist. So there's still an opportunity there a few days after. Yeah.
Now, who are some of the big, I know you mentioned Forest Rotary Club, big sponsors or foundations that help with this program primarily?
I know the Bedford Foundations, there's two different ones here that we work with, the Health Foundation.
Was it Bedford Community Health Foundation? Probably.
That sounds right, yes.
Yeah, I would think so for local.
Again, I get to spend the money. It's these
That's
other
right.
guys who get to make the money. And so I'm so appreciative that they're there. Sorry, I got the fun part of the job, Like she said, our government charter mandates that we show up for disaster, but they don't give us any funds. So thank God it is those foundations, people who give, and United Ways and those type of things are really good to us, especially the Central Virginia United Way is very good. And so, yeah.
Right. And so people can help in different ways. And how would you suggest the best way for them to help? Obviously, you have a fundraiser coming up. Let's talk about that, Michelle.
So, yes, we always donations. We love them. We are a nonprofit. No shame there. But our fundraiser is actually, we call it Help Can't Wait. And it is a breakfast fundraiser. We have sponsors. So if you are a business and you want to sponsor and be a part of this event, we would love to have you. And that you can do that by contacting me. And what it is this year we've changed it up. We've had different programming. And this year it's our first in person in the last since 2018, because 2019. And we are celebrating our mission. And so we're going to have testimonials from all sides of the lines of service and really let people know and see what the Red Cross is doing in their community and how important and impactful it is. I know that so often, we talk about home fires, we talk about military. Your son is in the military. Thank you for serving. But if you're not connected to the military, I think we're disconnected in certain ways, and blood donations. But it takes one person in your life to need any of our services to change your entire perspective on our mission. And so to be aware of our mission and to know just how we are impacting people such as your neighbors or somebody that sits across the table from you is really important. And so that is our whole goal, is really just to let people know that we are there for everyone. We don't check anything when we're at your home fire. All we want to know is that it was your house. We don't, we don't
Right.
care if you have millions of dollars or nothing. We treat everyone as the same. It's a need that we are able to do. And so we want to make sure that people know what we're doing. And so this fundraiser is all about going back into our disaster relief program. That is our biggest money spender. Obviously, they're more often and things that we have to do. And so that is June 8th at the Liberty Conference Center, which is next to Party City in Candler's Mountain Station. It's at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. We'll have breakfast, and then there's a program from 8 to 9. And again, if you want to be involved, you can reach out to me at the Red Cross, but it is michelle.dowdy@redcross.org. And so, or you can Google Red Cross and call us. Either way, I would love to get to know you and see how we can get you involved in one way or the other, whether you want to attend and be a part of that fundraiser or you want to sponsor and be a part of it in that way.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. June the 8th from 7:30 to 9 at the Liberty Conference Center, Red Cross. You can sponsor. There's still time. So if you are listening and you'd like to help sponsor this event, or if you would like to just donate, either one, you guys are taking those monetary donations. And so we look forward to helping you guys promote this. So send us your flyers. We'll get it out there as well. What's next for Red Cross locally?
What is next? Well, hopefully no major disasters during hurricane season. But, I think Ralph talked a lot about how this is his everyday life. And it's hard to figure out what is next for the Red Cross outside of us just delivering our mission. I know that we have had to pivot and do things differently just as everyone else has. And what we are doing now is beginning to pivot out of that virtual world and coming back into in-person things and starting some of our programs that we weren't able to do. I mentioned earlier that we send things overseas to our troops, and Sam's Club has been a great partner in the past. And we're able to sit outside. We have volunteers that come or board members or students, and they sit outside with us during the day, and we just take donations all day. And people are so generous. Knowing that, hey, we're supporting this, we're sending this to our active military overseas. And so there's a lot of just us pivoting back to normalcy, if that's a normal word anymore. I'm not sure what that means.
So is normalcy. It's out there. We're getting back to it, at least what we call normal now.
Right.
So 2022. And I don't want to forget to talk about the business training on fire preparedness and then the fire alarms. So let's talk back, and we'll pose that question to Ralph.
Okay, sounds good. I will kind of lead with the one statement I always like to point out. All of our services that the Red Cross provides, of course, are free of charge, but however, they're not free of cost. And so that's why the fundraisers and why these donors are leaned on, that we really need their support so that we are able to show up in that darkest hour and help someone. And with hurricane season starting June 1, going through November 30th, that's very active time. A lot of times we are getting more of the heavy rain and flooding here as the aftermath of the weather as it's coming through. Not being on the coast, we're not hit as hard right here. But there's still many times that we open shelters and so forth. Hurricane Michael is another good one. We had shelters open in our territory. And that's kind of a preparedness behind the scenes, kind of leaning into preparedness now. We have to be ready, and we maintain 4 trailers that are set up with 50 cots and 100 blankets and everything down to the toilet paper to open up a shelter when and if needed. And those are driven every month to make sure they're ready to go. We have feeding vehicles, an emergency response vehicle that's driven every week so that it is ready to go and perform when the time comes. And so it's all about being ready when the time comes for all of this stuff. And some of the community programs that you were just talking about and that Danielle would have been talking about as well, pillowcase program teaching those 3rd to 5th graders about preparedness, what's important, what to grab, what you need to have ready to go out the door when it's time. Preparing with Pedro the Penguin, say that really slow with all those P's there, is an education for kindergartners to 2nd grade. And so again, it's starting that. There's some games and interaction stuff that they're learning on how to be prepared and how to do that. For the businesses and individuals in the community, we have called Ready Rating at readyrating.org. Your business or your organization certainly can sign up there. And basically, you're learning all the ins and outs of, God forbid, a disaster happened at your business office. Where's your office stuff tomorrow? Do you have things backed up? Do you have MSDS books? Do you have this and that? It really walks you through that program again. So it's great for businesses to be a part of that one. Be Red Cross Ready is a training that Danielle and her trainers would do for our adults. It's kind of like those pillowcase and Pedros, but it's for adults. You will learn an awful lot there. Hands-only CPR, if you're not someone who has the opportunity to take a full-blown CPR first aid course, which our authorized providers are back to doing now that we're a little bit past COVID. There's a hands-only version that takes about 20 to 30 minutes, and you're learning those basic skills that you could keep someone alive to save their life till the emergency people get on scene. And so that's just a great basic program there. You mentioned smoke alarms, and that's one of those programs that back in 2014, the American Red Cross made a national decision that because we did have so many fire deaths and things going on, we wanted to have a program that would assist in the preparedness and having that alarm that gives you that 2 minutes to get low and go and get out of your house. That's the thing we want to remind folks. And when we come out on that program, it's called Homes Made Safer. And what we're able to do is provide up to 3 free sealed 10-year battery alarms. And we come in with an education bag that will have a plan that you'll put on your refrigerator and a marker and there to remind you of knowing 2 ways out at all times. And it goes over all that preparedness education, about 2 minutes to get low and go. It gives you that heads up with that alarm going off. And these are programs that we have National Sound the Alarm coming up May 1st through the 22nd. You'll be hearing press all across the country. There are 50 target locations, one in each state. In Virginia, it's Chesapeake, which is not in our Blue Ridge territory, but they are the focus during that time frame. All the press and everything will be about that and being safe and promoting smoke alarms there. We're always promoting them here, and we have great partners at the fire department and so forth. We've got a great partnership with Bedford County Fire and EMS and Janet and her crew over there, and the fire marshals, Leo and and so, you're able to reach out to the Red Cross office, and we'll get that in the right direction. We don't just hand out the alarms ever. This is a program where we want to make sure your home is safer when we leave. So our team comes in, hangs them, educates you, and when they walk out, that home is very prepared and ready to be safer that day. And so it's really saved lives. I think our count across the country, we're nearing 1,800 last count I heard, of verified life saves. And those are folks that you go in and do an interview and they said, yes, this alarm is what woke me up. It's what saved me and got me out. And, and when you start thinking about that, we have a lot of 2-story homes here. And so do you have a way to get out of that second story? Part of that education bag is you having a plan. And so if you don't have one of those rope ladders that you can pick up from Home Depot or Lowe's, it's letting in your window ledge, how you getting out of that room if you can't get out the front door, the bedroom door. So these are all kinds of things to be thinking about in your preparedness, but it's part of that preparedness program that Red Cross provides.
I thought it was one of the best programs that a lot of people are not knowledgeable that you have that going on. And so I wanted to make sure we included that in this segment because training, fire preparedness, and also just providing those smoke alarms, that is a huge benefit to our entire community and of course to our business community as well. And so knowing where to get these resources is pertinent and knowing where to go in times of crisis is pertinent. So Red Cross, I can't thank you enough, Michelle and Ralph, for all that you're doing. Thank you so much for coming out and talking to us and telling us about what you have and what you're offering and how our community can be helped and how we can help the Red Cross. And so we look forward to your event June the 8th, your fundraiser coming up, community-wide event. Everyone's invited. Come out, take part, and give back and celebrate with you. 7:30 to 9 a.m. at the Liberty Conference Center. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.